What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Paste Studio here in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. We are broadcasting to you live from the Manhattan Center as always, and we are joined right now by a very special guest. This is a really great one for us. This is Buffalo Tom.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Hi, two-thirds of us.
Two-thirds of it. It's Chris and Bill from Buffalo Tom. I should
The actual
specify.
Tom not here.
Right. They're the only ones who showed up. So
Yeah,
what
that's
are you gonna do?
Tom's contract says no daytime work.
Right. He's actually behind that curtain back there. He's just hiding until you guys are done. So these guys have a new record out. It's called Quiet and Peace. Came out a couple of weeks ago, March 2. First album in 7 years. It's amazing it's been that long.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear a couple songs from the new record and one from an older record, but not the oldest records, a little bit far back.
Right.
But let's get it started off with a song. Tell me a little bit about what we're opening up with.
Sure, this is I'll Be Gone. This is kind of a big rock song that starts off the record, the actual album. But since we have no drummer, we're just going to kind of tone it down slightly and see what happens using the tone on the volume on the guitar. It kind of sets the tone of the record. It's a lot about sort of where we are in our lives, I guess. So,
All right. Cool.
So I'll Be Gone. There was a time coming and going, a time of wanting but not really knowing. We took the boat out of the water, already missing my son and missing my daughter. Watch them from the cliff as they walk down below. There was a blue sky with white clouds rolling in, and tomorrow it would all be there again, but I'd be gone. I've ever wanted half as much as this, just for you to be as happy as I was, as we motored on and floated on the power of what we not so long ago. So many arrivals, so many hellos. But now my time behind is greater than my time ahead. I save up the minutes like flowers before they're all dead and gone. I'll be gone, I'll be gone, I'll be gone. We'll all be gone. Tuning. Thank you.
Guys, thank you. So that is the lead track on the new record from Buffalo Tom is called Quiet and Peace. That was All Day Long. The record is called Quiet and Peace.
Quiet and
Yeah,
Peace,
All Be
exactly.
Gone.
All Be Gone.
All Be Gone.
What did I say?
I don't know.
All right, never
day
mind.
long.
All day long.
Which, if it's not too late, we're going to
It's,
change it.
I haven't eaten yet today. Bear with me.
I like that. All day long.
So, you know, when I first read that you guys were putting out a new record, it'd been like 6 or 7 years since the last one. And the first thing that jumped out at me was the title of the record. Because in the years since we last heard from Buffalo Tom, it seems like, especially nowadays, it's like the last thing that everyone has on their mind is quiet and peace, or at least the first thing that everyone wants, the last thing that everyone expects. I mean, was there something about that phrase, those words, that had sort of like a larger meaning, or is it really, you guys are known as sort of like, you know, your personal songwriters, you write often about your lives. Was there something larger about that phrase that struck you somehow?
Well, it's a line in a song called
In the Ice.
In the Ice.
Yeah.
But it did strike me as a phrase that, especially for us, because our world gets super white noisy, like with lots of kids and lots of job and like running around. And the band has become kind of this nice, quiet space that we can get to, like it was when we started in college in a way too, away from, you know, school and away from like a kind of social things maybe. And so even though it's super loud in our rehearsal
It's a loud
space,
kind of quiet.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
this nice little moment that we've actually had now for like 35 years, that's our little thing that we do. And it's a great part of your life. But it also, like at home, I think we're also found sometimes like hiding in the quiet part of the house and writing these songs. I thought it was a good line.
Yeah. Well, you guys are now at a point. It's funny. This is sort of like the second. It's been this many years. You know, like 6 or 7 years since the last album, which was called Skins. But you are, you know, this is sort of like the second phase of the Buffalo Tom story. And you know, I was thinking, it's been this many years. All Be Gone has that classic Buffalo Tom guitar rock feel to it, but there are definitely other songs on this record. Freckles, when I was listening to it, came to mind, has sort of a keyboard centric feel to it. And, you know, has the approach changed much at all, even since like the last record to now, in the way that you guys are putting together your songs?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot that's consciously planned out with us. You know, back when we were really trying, like near the end of the first phase, as you put it, the sort of end of the 90s, we were sort of trying to push ourselves a little bit more, like, let's try to use this producer and go to this place, and maybe even have a multi-instrumentalist join us for a while, or a keyboardist, as it turned out. But now we're not trying so much. We've got this many more years of listening to records and other stuff, and influences seeping in. And Chris and I, well, all three of us play with like other fun bands on the side, so sometimes that stuff seeps in as well. And I've been playing more keyboards on, you know, sort of just home studio stuff. So, I mean, we always sort of had that. Sometimes you never know what the mixer is going to bring up, and you go, oh, okay, John Agnello, who mixed this record, kind of put something to the forefront that Chris maybe didn't even really know was there, like on some of the overdubs, you know, that I did. So it's a collaborative thing that way, and you never know. And then when it comes out, it's interesting to see reactions from people, like how certain records meet kind of our fan base, and then people that didn't necessarily know us before. So
Yeah.
all that stuff is it's all these moving parts.
And you feel like has there been sort of reconnection with that fan base who was with you all those years ago, and now maybe is where you guys are? You know, the kids are grown up, and you know, you're on the road playing. I saw an interesting quote from you, how these days, like, there are more people at your shows, you're thinking, because some of your fans now can get back out to shows again.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of that re-engagement with Buffalo Tom out on the road?
They think we're going to pass, I think, too. There's this idea, the
Gotta see
odds
them
are
now.
we better see them now. They're not looking so good last time we saw them.
Yeah. No, this is the time when the Stones were in their 50s, to be like, this could be the last time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Here we are.
But it is true, yeah. I think that's...
Yeah, I mean,
Fair enough.
it might
With
be
us, too.
10 more people at a show.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this part of our life, like, I notice we go out more and see more things, and we don't have to, literally don't have babysitters anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, people who have
It's
kids
new.
know. It's like if you're between infancy and like 10, those 10 years are just a blur. You know? And if you have another one, it kind of staggers, and you get back on your feet, and it's you come out of that cloud, and you're like, wait, Who were the Strokes again? When did that come out?
That brand new hot band.
Yeah, that's right. Cool. So we're going to hear a couple more from Buffalo Tom. I think one more from the new record, which is called Quiet and Peace, and one slightly older one. Tell me a little bit about what's coming up next.
This is CC.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a song from a couple albums ago.
Yeah, it's either no, I think it's from Skins. Yeah,
I think it's from Three Easy Pieces.
3 Easy Pieces,
It's
which was
called,
sort of the original comeback of Buffalo
yeah, the
Tom,
original
in a
Monk
way.
Yeah, that's right.
It had been about 10 years between those records.
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, a song called CC and Callas, which isn't about me or Maria Callas.
All right.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It seems like a long time since you've gone, and me, I still sing your lovely song. I keep my radio on, I keeps my radio on. You tear my heart out when you snore. I wanna sing out loud. See, I'm just a lonely operaphile, but I keep my radio on. I keep my radio on. This isn't the best time for me. This isn't the best time. Waiting around till after the show. Taking so much time, just going on and on and on to say goodbye. You practiced all night for the show. Singing la-ti-do, re mi fa sol la-ti-do. Keeps my radio on. I keep my radio on. This isn't the best time for me. This isn't the best time. Waiting around till after the show. Taking so much time. Taking so much time. And these are the things that I miss the most. The sound of your voice on the telephone. These are the things that I miss the most. Holding your hand in the falling snow. Singing along to the Rolling Stones. These are the best times.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We're just outnumbering you here in the room, so this is good. Or you're gonna have to also join in. So let me ask you one other thing about this record. One thing that really jumped out at me was there's this cover on it of the great Simon and Garfunkel song "The Only Living Boy in New York." There's also a really good, nice video for that particular track on your website. And I was reading how Bill, your daughter, appears as a backing vocalist on that song, and it sort of struck me as this great like spanning of generations. You know, taking an older song, putting it through the Buffalo Tom machine, and adding this next generation of Janovitz.
Yeah.
And it and it made me wonder, sort of like, what moves you these days as a songwriter? What really kind of sticks with you and is what you want to be talking about on your records right now?
I mean, Paul Simon's a great example. I mean, he was a young guy when he wrote that, obviously, and he's a guy that's written about the times of his life really well at each era. And I hadn't really thought about it until we're kind of just discussing it now. But I mean, when my daughter who sings, I want to bring it really full circle. When she was a little girl, there's that song that came out from the Rugrats movie, Father and Daughter, I think it's called. There'll never be a father who loves his daughter as much as I love you. It's this beautiful song.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of understated. And it used to kill me. I mean, and it kills me just talking about it now. So it's nice to have this kid grow up, and she and I are texting each other all day. She's up at college. She's turning me on to new bands. I'm turning her on to old bands and some new bands, but it kind of goes back and forth. In fact, she texted me something that she said, "Hey, check out this song." I'm like, "I sent that to you 2 months ago." So, yeah. So stuff like that is really nice and serendipitous, because she kind of came through the whole top 40 phase where I was just like tearing my hair out. Like, I can't listen to this Taylor Swift song for the 4th time in an hour, just like my parents used to get driven crazy. Turn it down.
Yeah.
But now my kids yell at me to turn music down. I'm sure the same for you, yeah.
Yeah, they don't like to hear it.
Why do you
Right. Finally, you've discovered Taylor Swift, and now they have to tell you, please, with the Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Enough with the Taylor Swift.
Yeah. You're lucky you missed the Frozen wave. That's where
Yeah,
I am mired right
we
now,
had that.
and
Yeah.
I feel like it's
How
going
old
to
is
be.
yours?
I mean, she's barely 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's going to be a decade before we're,
Oh,
it's going to be
Let it
Frozen
go.
4.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, oh man. We've already seen it on ice and in
Yeah.
puppet form. Yeah,
Yeah.
anyway.
Did you see the guy in Boston that dressed up as Elsa?
No.
We had a snowstorm, crazy 2 feet of snow this past week, and
Yeah.
there's this video of a guy, full-aged man, full-grown man, dressed in full Elsa outfit, pushing a police van out of the snow while people in the bar cheer him on. Nobody goes to help him. Some guy sort of feigns help. He's like, "You're good." Okay.
Yeah, he knew what he was
Full
doing.
Elsa outfit.
Yeah. One other thing I was going to ask you was about Boston. You guys are a tried and true Boston band, and you came up with a lot of other great Boston bands that don't even need mentioning: the Pixies, the Lemonheads, Belly, the whole set. Is that still something that you guys are really kind of plugged into and advocates of these days? The
Yeah.
Boston scene.
I mean, strange, you never would have guessed that, I don't know, 30 years later, that these bands would still be playing or we'd be enjoying it so much. But like Belly has a great new album. We saw Jay from Dinosaur we played with last winter.
Yeah.
In some ways, these guys are reaching some of their greatest heights. And it would not have guessed that in 1980 that kind of thing would still be happening, or that would be influential to other bands too. So it's great to see in a way, but it's also odd. I mean, there's a part of us that's kind of like, this is kind of strange. Or are we just in a little bubble there?
Right. And what about, like, in terms of turnover? I mean, there was like the great 70s. I mean, Aerosmith is maybe the most famous of the Boston bands, and then there was a great wave in the 90s with you guys and everyone you just mentioned. I mean, are there still heroes coming out of Boston these days that you guys are getting into now?
Yeah, I mean, I think of people that came through Boston. It was similar when we were younger. A lot of bands came through Boston, like Galaxy 500, but they were never really, they were a Boston band for a while, but they kind of recorded down in New York. They were from New York originally. They came to school. 2 of them stayed, but Dean came back to New York. Stuff like that happened a lot. The Breeders were never Boston. It was just like him happened to be in Boston with the Pixies, but I don't think the Breeders were. Although I know Tanya and her. I mean, it's funny. But anyway, in that tradition, I think of Lady Lamb, the beekeeper, who was never really probably in Boston.
Portland.
Portland. But Billy
yeah.
Ruane,
Yeah.
famous guy, sort of championed her, and now she's down here in Brooklyn. I assume where everybody ends up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's just
Brooklyn.
Boston South. That's what we call Brooklyn now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have lots of friends who are in bands, but as far as young bands coming up, we're probably I'm not the guy. To
Yeah,
ask
I'm
you,
not going out to those places. And a lot of it's not guitar music. Like,
Right. Yeah.
we definitely noticed that a lot of the venues we played in the past were electronic music or whatever, which is cool.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of jazz. Like, Boston's full of like all kinds of like world music and jazz. Like, that's a cool part of Boston too, that as we get older, of course, we go see. But we're also going to see Echo and the Bunnymen still, and like Van Morrison and all those kind of bands. We're just in, just with everybody else in that bandwagon.
Yeah, cool. So we are here with Buffalo Tom, of course, and I think we're going to hear one more song from the new record, which is called Quiet and Peace. Tell me a little bit about what we're going to close out with.
Yeah, this is a song called Overtime. What can I say about it? Yeah, another sort of middle-aged lament, I guess. Isn't it? Blue eyes as pale as the white of a whale. Overtime. Right off the rails, you were set up to fail. Overtime, all of the time, all of the time I knew it was not true. But the girls became women and boys became men. Overtime. But we were all becoming then. Overtime, it's the loneliest time. All of the time I knew it was not true. But the rich girl trophy wise and plastic surgeon eyes, and everyone around her looked so crazy. The vast solitude and her waning fortitude, working overtime, working overtime. She got home from a full day alone. Overtime. But the kids left home as soon as they were grown. Overtime is the loneliest time. All of the time I knew it was not true. Overtime is the loneliest time. Overtime. Thank you.
Guys, thank you. Everyone, this, of course, is Buffalo Tom. You guys have a new record out. It's called Quiet and Peace. Came out on March 2nd. We heard two songs from the new record, I'll Be Gone, and that one was called Overtime.
Yep.
And a slightly older one we heard, Callas, in the middle from 3 Easy Pieces, the original Buffalo Tom comeback album. So you guys are on tour. There's a show coming up tomorrow night here in New York City at Brooklyn at the Music Hall of Williamsburg. So everyone go check that out. There are a couple more dates on the website that I saw, buffalotom.com. Everyone can go find those dates there. There's also a really lovely video for that cover of The Only Living Boy in New York, which we were talking a little bit about earlier. And everyone, pick up Quiet and Peace. It's really a great album, and you're going to love it. So guys, Chris, Bill, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
and thanks
guys.
to everybody at Paste for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really a great honor to have you in our studio, and I hope that you guys come back and play for us again anytime
Absolutely.
you want.
All right.
guys.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Fun.